everyone, my name is Zuher and you are watching Multicultural's Civic Platform. In this episode, we are talking about civic issues in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Today, we are talking about the Canadian Palestinian Association of Manitoba and its importance of empowering the Palestinian community in Winnipeg. For this special episode, I invited Nawras Zeid, member of the Canadian Palestinian Association of Manitoba, for more details about the organization. Hello, Noor, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us, Zuher. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So to start with, can you please introduce yourself? Who are you and what are you doing? And how many years you have been here in Winnipeg?
I've been here all my life, which is, I've been here since I was about a year old. And I'm 50 years old now, so it's been about 49 years. Basically just here living, working, representing Canada and Palestine.
Wonderful. So when the organization start, and what is the hidden story behind this beginning, and why we need this kind of association for the Palestinian community?
So the reason that we started the association is to unite Palestinians in Winnipeg and in Manitoba, and basically want we needed an organization to represent Palestinian Canadians living here. We also wanted to bring awareness to the Palestinian issue as it pertains to Palestine and Canadian relations.
Comparing with other provinces, the population of Palestinian community here, it's the larger in Winnipeg, or there is a more larger communities in another provinces?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Bigger places, bigger centers like Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, even Edmonton, they have a bigger population. But as far as Winnipeg goes, it's a pretty sizable population.
And what is the organization role in terms of helping the Palestinian community to be more settled and confident here in Winnipeg?
We do a lot of things. We will again, we always offer information of what's going on as far as Palestinian issues. We also have a connection with the city of Winnipeg, with the province, and even with the federal government. We try and bring awareness to Palestinian issues. And then as far as Palestinians that are coming here, they want help with any issues or guidance living here in Winnipeg as a Palestinian. We always try and help out as much as we can. A lot of people come here, they don't know simple things, where to go, who to talk to, even just finding rent for a place to stay. So we try and facilitate that whenever we can.
So you are from the family, a big family here in Winnipeg, Zeid family, and they are the first Palestinian who arrived to Winnipeg. How that makes responsibility in your family to help others and give them the proper information to be maybe finding accommodation or daycares? If that's a responsibility, this family take it as a serious mission for them to help the Palestinian here in Winnipeg?
First of all, I'm a proud member of the Zeid family. A lot of people know us as Zeid, but it's actually Zeid in Arabic, of course. But yeah, we've been here a long time. It's been over 50 years now, and they basically were the pioneers of the Palestinian population here, and we do take it very seriously. If somebody does come to the Canadian Palestinian Association, or if we hear of somebody that needs help, we always try and help them out as much as we can. And we're willing to help anybody out. It doesn't even have to be Palestinians. A lot of people come to us or come to my family and the organization, be it Syrians or Ukrainians or wherever. We always try and help out whoever we can. But more especially, we enjoy helping everybody, but we always want to help our own people as much as we can too.
When I'm attending one of the events your family organized, I find something very unique. The ladies wear the Palestinian dress, the kids, the children, they are exactly looks like the Palestinian in Palestine. And the food, I saw the maqluba, and you did exactly how we did it our back home, and also the kunafa. All these small details will makes us like with more like feeling we are in our home. We are maybe far from distance, but our heart and soul, we still Palestinian. And I saw your mom and your family. You are a very like a strong family, representing the Palestinian community very well. How that's what kind of feedbacks you get from our community and the Arabic community and Palestinian community about what you are doing?
We, like you're talking about the Maqluba night, that's when the ambassador of Palestine came to Winnipeg to visit. She came to visit the Manitoba Islamic Association. The Manitoba Islamic Association asked me and my wife to host that event. So our friends and family helped out, and we did Maqluba night, which is basically an upside down rice dish that's traditional in Palestine. Yeah, it's so important for us to retain our history and our clothing and our heritage. So we try and hang on to that. Palestinians in general are very, very, very guarded, and they try and hang on to their culture and their heritage. But we also here in Winnipeg understand that we have other influences that come in. So, but whenever we have a chance, we always like to show our heritage and culture to people, and we do that by food and by clothing, and even just talking and dealing with people. We find that it works for us, and a lot of people like the way we operate and what we do.
When I met the member of your organization and the president as well, they said our first goal to save our second generations. We need to let them know that you are a Palestinian Canadian, and there is like a history behind you guys. We are in a diverse city here in Winnipeg, but you still have your culture and your heritage. How you raise your kids, how you advise your community members about raising a child who's born here and learn in public school about his heritage as well?
Well, it starts at home, of course, right? So we're always talking about this. We are always hanging out and talking with other Palestinians. We have dinners at our own house that we do that. And we do events like that one event that you were talking about. We do other events where we'll do dinners and other things where we will wear our traditional dress. And then we place a lot of value on that and emphasis on it. And for the most part, most of the kids love it and they want to hang on to it. It's what makes us unique. A lot of people, there's one person that's gone. He said or she said that the old will die and the young will forget, but that will never happen because it's going to take somebody that just doesn't want to do anything about it. But we're not that type of people. We're always constantly talking to our kids and other people about our heritage and our culture.
So if we need to highlight some challenging the Palestinian community today face here in Winnipeg, what it will be? Maybe the language, maybe the like finding jobs, especially the newcomers who just arrived. What that kind of challenges you face?
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges here in Winnipeg for any newcomers. You talk to anybody that's a newcomer, just taking a bus, language barriers, just the way things are done. It's different, you know what I mean? The space, for example, Winnipeg's a very big city. Business is not done the same way as it is done like in Palestine. Palestine, people a little more close-knit. Things are more condensed. You can get around more easily sometimes. Where here, you got to have a phone. It's different the way life is in Winnipeg compared to other places, especially in Palestine.
Sure. In your events, I realized that there is a cooperation between the Palestinian community and other Arab communities. So today we are talking specifically about Palestinian, but we are part of the Arabic community. How this cooperation, its benefit for all Arab community in general to be more stronger and more stable here in Winnipeg?
For example, when you went to that event, in the kitchen, I had people that were Moroccan. We had people that are Canadian, Heinz 57 they call them, a little mixture of everything. We had Pakistani, we had Bangladeshi. We had a whole bunch of people that were from different cultures, but on that day, they were all Palestinian. And people from the outside, they won't know because they just look in and they see all these people working. Some of them are wearing kufiyas and hattas and other Palestinian things. And some people just wearing their regular traditional stuff, but a lot of people don't know the difference, right, until they're told. So the average person coming in not knowing wouldn't know who's a Palestinian and who isn't. But on that day, I always told everybody, none of you are any other culture except for Palestinian today. And then it happens on other days, like we'll go in and we'll help them, and on that day, we'll become part of them. So that's probably the one unique thing that happens here in Winnipeg. And it's been like that for a long time because we had a very small community of Muslims and Arabs and whatever it may be. And we were always together. And I really like seeing that and I like being part of that because, the Arab and Muslim culture, we are all about integration and being tolerant. And I like that diversity, you know what I mean? I like talking about different foods being introduced and maybe having a fusion of different cultures. And I think that's great. We have to move forward and maybe that one person or that one culture does something a little better and we can take it and use it in our culture. So I don't mind that at all.
So when everyone hear about the Palestinian community, there is like one question mark on top of their heads, how these people will be a success people outside in Canada or in Winnipeg, for example, and there is like another war happening in their home country, how their mental health treated, how they treat their kids, and they have like some challenging they face in their back home. So how you respond for someone who's like have this kind of questions?
We're the underdogs. People look at us and sometimes they count us out. Sometimes they don't realize how successful we are. You go out throughout the whole world, you'll find Palestinians in just about every country. And a lot of them are successful in a lot of areas, So many Palestinians are in the professional fields like engineering and doctors and stuff. But the people that are not noticed as much are the business people, and they're the main drivers, right? They're the grinders, they call them, right? So they're the ones that work hard, do the honest work, get things done. We are part of the community. Like I grew up here and went to school here. A lot of people didn't even know what Palestine was, but they liked me and I liked them, and they started realizing that, hey, this guy's Palestinian, hey, this guy's Muslim, and then they started calling me and talking to me afterwards because they started opening up their sphere of what they're seeing, and then we started talking more. So it was pretty cool. They didn't realize sometimes that what they seen on the news, that's what my family went through. So afterwards, we have really good conversations. And I think it's really important that any culture, any person, just be honest and good to people, and people will appreciate you, and they'll respect you, and then you gotta give that back. And I find that if you give respect and you're honest to people, you're gonna get that back, especially here in Winnipeg.
Great. So if someone arrived now to Winnipeg and he want to look for some advices for accommodation or finding a job, or he has struggled with the language, how your role your organization role to make him in the right track and starting with him? What kind of steps you took with them until he be more stable?
I think immediate needs would be the number one thing. Like they need to have a place to stay. If they don't have anything, they would try and help them out as much as possible, guide them into the right city, what do you call it? Like a city program or something. You know what I mean? There's lots of programs to help people out. We can't shoulder everything on our shoulders. There's a lot of people coming, and a lot of people want assistance. And there's in the city of Winnipeg and the province offer a lot. They might not know about it or know where to go. So our job is to help them out the best we can. If they need immediate accommodations or something like that, we can try and help them out. But oftentimes we get them involved with other groups. There's the Manitoba Islamic Association. There's the Women's Islamic Association that helps out a lot. They run programs to help people. There's emergency help situations there with those groups. So that's our main purpose, is to help people out whenever we can.
So we reached the end of this episode, and I would like to give you a space. If I must to ask you something and you want to mention something, this is the right time.
Well, we just really appreciate you having us on. This type of stuff allows us a voice to the broader citizenship of Winnipeg and Canada. And we really enjoy being in Canada, and we enjoy living here. We're part of the community. We want to be part of the solution to this community. There's a lot of challenges ahead for not just Palestinians, but Muslims, Arabs, South Asians, Winnipeggers, and Canadians in general. So we want to work together to make it better and have a better city.
Thank you, Noor.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you give us sometimes to come and chat with me. Thank you very much.
We appreciate your help. Thank you.
We reach the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and wait for a new episode from Civic Platform.